Imagine two people. Both have the same credit card. Same credit limit. Same payment history. They both pay their balance in full every single month. But one of them has a credit score that's 40 points higher than the other. Same card. Same habits. Different score. How? The difference comes down to one number, and most people have never heard of it. Here's what most people are told. Keep your credit utilization below 30%. That's the rule you'll find on every basic finance website, every bank's FAQ page. And if you follow it, you're told you're doing everything right. So people stay comfortable. They think I'm at 25%, I'm fine. And technically, they're not wrong. But they're leaving points on the table. Significant points. And the reason banks and issuers don't shout this louder? It's probably not in their interest for you to know it. Let's break this down simply. Credit utilization is just the percentage of your available credit that you're using at any given time. You have a $5,000 limit and a $1,500 balance? That's 30% utilization. Now, credit scoring models, the ones that decide if you get a loan, a mortgage, even a rental apartment, they reward lower utilization. Below 30% is decent. Below 10% is very good. But here's the part that gets quietly left out of most conversations. The sweet spot that top credit scorers actually aim for? Around 1% to 3%. Not 0. Not 30. 1 to 3%. And here's where it gets interesting psychologically. Zero utilization, meaning you never carry any balance, can actually signal to the scoring model that you're not really using credit at all. The system can't see you properly. Think of it like a job reference. If someone says, "I've never seen this person work," that's not the glowing review you want. But if someone says they always show up, handle pressure well, and close things out reliably, that's what builds trust. A tiny utilization, just 1%, tells the algorithm, this person uses credit, and they manage it almost perfectly. That's the signal you want to send. The deeper lesson here is about how financial systems are built to observe behavior, not just reward compliance. The 30% rule became popular because it's easy to teach and technically not wrong. But it was never the optimal target, it was the minimum acceptable threshold dressed up as advice. This happens a lot in personal finance. The rules you're given are designed to keep you from failing, not to help you win. And the gap between those two things? That gap is where the people building real financial security tend to live. There's also a timing element most people miss. Your score is typically calculated based on what your statement balance shows, not what you pay afterward. So even if you pay in full every month, if your statement closes while you're at 25% utilization, that's the number that gets reported. The move is to pay down your balance before the statement closes, not after. So what do you actually do with this? It's simpler than it sounds. Find out when your credit card statement closes each month. Then, a few days before that date, make a payment that brings your balance down to roughly 1% of your credit limit. Leave just a tiny amount on there, not zero. Then pay the rest off after the statement date to avoid interest entirely. On a $5,000 limit, that's about $50 showing on your statement. That's the number that gets reported. That's the number that shapes your score. The 30% rule isn't bad advice. It just isn't the best advice. And in a world where your credit score quietly follows you into loan applications, lease agreements, and sometimes even job interviews, the difference between good enough and optimized can cost you thousands of dollars over time. The banks built the game. They just didn't hand you the strategy guide. Now you have one page of it.